Yeah. I know you got problems, know you at the bottom, know you took a loss today. Everybody want bottles, living for a throttle, you just want ball today. Tell me joy, where it's hiding, I've been trying to find it before I go all the way. Cause everybody got problems, everybody starving, but don't you go off today.
Get up on my trap house, I've been selling cracks since like the fifth.
Yo, this is the All Done podcast. That was Bobby Schmurder. Welcome home, my guy. And we're here to entertain you tonight. What's going on with you, Mike?
Yelling free Bobby to Bobby free. What's good, my brother? How you doing?
Ain't nothing, man. We chilling. Glad to see that young brother got out of that jam today. So it's nice to see a person come home from a very bad situation. So
Facts.
shout out to that. Shout out to that brother, man. So what we getting into tonight, man? What we getting into on this beautiful night here on the All Done podcast?
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Wednesday night. We are just halfway through this week, and tonight another major storm now bearing down from the south right up into the northeast tomorrow. Snow, ice, freezing rain, dangerous conditions, and this storm has already slammed Texas yet again. Another night there with millions without power, without heat, without water, and authorities acknowledging they do not know when the power will be back on. Grocery stores with empty shelves today, bottled water sold out. At least 30 people have now died in this week's storms alone, and this new one now hitting tonight. The images again this evening, this 15-mile traffic jam near Hazen, Arkansas, multiple accidents in the snow on an icy Interstate 40. Freezing rain in Austin, Texas, adding a coat of ice to the snow, a car out of control sliding down an icy hill. Millions without power, families left to wear multiple layers and huddle with one another just to get through these nights. This neighborhood in the dark in Houston, frozen pipes bursting inside homes, and one image seen in so many places today, this one right here, icicles hanging from a fan in a Dallas apartment building. A long line for propane tanks in Houston today, people waiting in freezing rain. Also waiting in line for hours for groceries. These images from Austin, Texas tonight. Some families showing up at what they're calling warming centers. This one open 24 hours a day in Richardson, Texas. That's outside Dallas.
Man, something that hit hard, maybe not everybody in the country, but a lot of people in this country, Snowvid-19 as they calling it. You feel
Is that
me?
what they deeming it? You said that a little earlier, and I didn't know that was the vibe. I didn't know
that's the thing, man. Snowvid-19. No, my bad. Snowvid-21 because we in 2021. The winter storm that hit, the South last week before as well. So that's what we on.
So I mean, you in it, bro. Where do we start? You in the mix down there in them southern places. I mean, I got my opinions on it, and some of the things that I've been seeing on the internet, and it's absolutely devastating. So definitely my prayers and thoughts out to those people who are living in some pretty tough situations. But give us that firsthand account, man. What's it been like?
That firsthand account. All right. So even when it came, everybody know where I'm from and where my people from and different things. And I kept getting y'all from New York, y'all know how to drive in the snow, or y'all just not used to it in Mississippi. Listen, it's a huge difference when straight ice falls.
I think I said that when we first started talking about it. I was like, bro, we from New York, like how to get around from A to B in the snow.
Yeah, that's facts. And the snow was one thing, but straight like ice falling, like not a flake. I think we got some flurries like after the ice fell and covered interstates and parking lots and streets and all that, and it was crazy because everything shut down. So even if like me, I know how to drive in the snow, and I know some people that know how to drive in the snow. First of all, everybody don't know how to drive in the snow.
This is true.
And the state I'm in, we're not prepared to deal with the snow on the street anyway. New York, it's snow plows out immediately. You feel me? Just
immediately. Not even just plows. We got the salt, the sand trucks. We got
everything.
The whole deal.
We didn't have none of that. That's not a thing. Or if we did, very very little. So and that was dealing with that. And then our different systems is not built to withstand that. So our power companies weren't ready to withstand that, and our water supply was messed up because of this. It was wild. So in the most obvious place, everybody heard about Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Texas
Got some
State.
people in Houston that's really going through it right now, man. Prayers and thoughts to y'all. Definitely that they come out of that, man. Because some of the stuff we've been seeing on the internet has been, you got ceiling fans freezing, you got people, water pipes bursting. So it's a real tough situation. It's a real tough situation. But I'll jump off from this point. It always is really interesting to me, especially after the hot summer we just had from a racial standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
that your federal government can get tanks into inner cities. Your federal government can get dozens of armed forces, right? Resources are plentiful when it comes to suppressing Black protests.
Absolutely.
But all of a sudden, we can't get it. Generators, it's like, we just can't get in because the weather's so bad. It's almost like y'all are playing this little game with me. I literally 7 months ago seen military tanks on the streets in major American cities all over the country.
Yeah, and it's such a thing. It's such a crazy thing. But we spoke about this earlier. There's a dollar amount to lives. You feel me? Is it worth?
So what are you saying? You think it's like, a couple people in Texas, Houston, the South passed because of this natural disaster? It kind of is what it is.
I think they care about Texas a lot, and I think that's why we hear about Texas so much. But let's just be real. We hear Texas. Mississippi went through it. My water pressure is still down. I actually completely lost water earlier today. It came back.
That's true. I have not heard really much about in the mainstream about Mississippi and a couple of those other states that were kind of going through.
Yeah, like our water pressure is back, like losing power left and right. I know people that went 2-3 days without power. No heat, no supermarket shelves empty. Bare. Kroger empty, over with. So but you know what? I think Texas is a bigger market. There's more money in Texas.
I think that the fact that we got to talk about during a natural disaster is what market is worth reporting on. I mean, therein lies the problem.
Exactly.
Like, these are people. I'm reading reports, and you got people freezing to death and people not being able to feed themselves. Like, it's a real ugly situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. I have a friend that lives in Houston, and she went a few days without power. She found a way to charge her phone and stuff, but she went at least 3 or 4 days without power. No heat. Things like that that happened. But I was listening to some show today, and he was like, that's what happens when you privatize certain things. When you take the government out of certain things, well, when they can't regulate certain things, like because you want to, Texas is big on being independent.
Yeah, states' rights.
Texas strong.
Yeah, states'
Texas
rights.
strong. Yeah, you feel me? So, and that happens. So now the checks and balances they had for these power plants and these water treatment companies, they kind of skim past them, like, because it's Texas. We don't get this weather. They ain't gonna be. And now look.
Yeah, so who does that fall on? Who's responsible? I mean, obviously you have those companies, if they were skipping out on certain regulations and certain policies and procedures that they were supposed to be following, regardless of the weather, in case of an emergency like this, who's to blame? And are we talking about a lot of civil lawsuits? Who's going to pay for the damages? The other piece that's really come out of this that is interesting to me is that the community, like Trader Truth from Houston, brother, I'm a big fan of his. He does a lot of great work in Houston, always delivering food, water, whenever Houston needs it. They had a natural disaster a couple years ago. He's always boots on the ground, and I definitely support that brother in any way that I can. But I guess my bigger question is, who's responsible for this, right? Because the company itself, again, they're gonna hide behind, well, the federal government allows us to have states' rights. They allow us to, operate and do this business the way we want to do it. And even though that may eventually lead in this situation to people literally losing their lives.
So who's to blame? To sum it up, who's to blame? I think it's a combination. No, I actually, from the outside looking in, like I said, let's say Texas situation, from the outside looking in, I blame the federal government because you probably knew like, they probably shouldn't try to run it themselves, but we gonna let them do it.
So finally, me and you gonna be on the same page. Yes, of course, the federal government's to blame. This is your fault.
Yeah,
Any life lost, this is your fault. Again, you're coming up short. And wait a minute, the other kicker is, and I'm gonna bridge us here, and that's a beautiful segue. Trump is not your president.
I mean, nah, don't you? So you blame Uncle Joe?
No, wait a minute.
That's my question. Are you? Is Uncle Joe to blame? Is Uncle Joe to blame?
I'm just saying. I thought we were headed for rainbows and unity, and it was all going to be tranquil and this beautiful peace and unity, and no more bad things. What? I don't understand what's going on. It's been, what are we talking about? A week or so now, where people are in dire need of help.
Yeah, what she say on we really need help.
But I haven't heard a soul, and I've been listening. I haven't heard a soul say, "Hey, Mr. Biden, I'm gonna need you to." All I seen that first week when he got in office is pictures of him sitting at his desk, all these executive orders, and he's signing all these bullshit photo ops. My brother, people are dying. What's up? Is that a fair question? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't hold the president of the United States responsible for the lives of Americans. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, Uncle Joe been in office 2 months. He can't. Well, I was gonna say he can't control the weather, but some people say he can. Some people say he can. What they call it, the harp.
Listen, man.
There's all type of conspiracy out there. Anything else gonna happen
we got global warming, and we can get into that too. Like, the effects of global warming, what has he done to fix that? And listen, maybe I don't know. Maybe I missed it. Maybe these things are out there. So if any of them,
I think you expected him to come in and just snap his fingers and
I did not expect that, and that is erroneous. I did not expect him to come in and snap.
I mean, that's what you making it sound like. What did he do for global warming?
I am saying right now, you have American citizens in American cities that he could reach. Don't tell me he can't get into Texas or Houston right now. Like, don't tell me the federal government doesn't have the capability and resources to get into Houston and help remedy this situation. Do you honestly believe that?
I believe they have the capabilities. They can do it if they want to.
So there we go.
Like I said, in the case of Texas, they said they don't want that. Remember? No, Texas strong, bro.
So what do you say? It's on the people? It's on the people. It's their fault. They didn't want the help, so now don't cry because you didn't get the help.
I mean, in so many words, yeah. We didn't
absolutely not. They pay taxes.
We didn't want Big Brother to be a part of what we doing. We wanted private organizations. That's fine. Yeah.
I don't care what you wanted. You put your money, you put your piece of the pie into the country. And so when you need the bailout, you should receive that. That's ABC, my guy.
I mean, I'm not knocking that, but what I'm saying is they wanted to be independent. So let them stand up and be independent.
Well, the South wanted to be independent of the North and keep slaves.
See how that turned out?
Should we have just let them?
But at the time, the government didn't let it happen. You feel me?
Exactly, because you gotta do the right thing. It ain't about just giving people what they want. Like, no, that's not what we're doing, right? There's right and there's wrong. Let's keep this shit real. Let's make it.
No, that's facts, and that's because a lot of brothers and sisters have lost their lives. Like, mothers trying to keep their kids warm and dying in garages. So it was a real messed up situation there.
But have you seen anybody criticize the president? Because maybe I missed it. I haven't seen it.
I mean, so if you could talk to him right now, what would you say to the president?
I'm gonna say, hey Joe, man, it's time to roll out some bread, and it's time to roll out and go get the people. You need to go into these places that are destroyed because of the storm. And you need to go get them and bring them to safety. People love to make politics and these type of situations, it's political, it's policy. You got to sign this, you got to talk to that person. And that's what I'm trying to get us to get away from. Some things are not about some policy or legislature. It's about, do the right thing. And I haven't even seen, maybe I got to scour the internet where I can find clips of Joe Biden even talking about this in a real way.
I don't think he has. Well, at least I haven't. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, and maybe I missed it, right? I work a lot. You work a lot. So, we're just regular Joes.
No pun intended, huh?
I haven't seen this man. And I mean, when he was calling Trump a white supremacist, I seen that everywhere. Didn't have to look far. Didn't have to look far to see that.
I think as a whole, the government and Big Brother didn't do. Did you see the governor of Texas?
Not my brother Ted Cruz.
Oh, did you see him?
Oh, my boy took a vacation, man.
Yeah. Oh, I'm out of here. Like, he said he ain't got no power, and so So now here's my question to that: how could you want, Uncle Joe to take care of those state?
What I'm gonna need you to do is stop calling that man Uncle Joe. That's what we're gonna not do. That.
You don't like the name Uncle Joe?
Who uncle is he? Who's uncle? His uncle?
He reminds you of the drunk uncle at the family reunion.
No, and I think this narrative is the problem. And you do these types of things on purpose. These narratives are the problem. That man not your family. That man is an elected official. All that Uncle Joe shit alleviates him of responsibility, because then you start to look at these people with soft eyes, like, it's Uncle Joe. He's doing the best he can.
I mean, who starts to look at people that way? Because I say it, that means I have to look at them with soft eyes?
I'm saying that there are individuals that use that type of phraseology, and it softens the expectations that they have on that elected official. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I think it depends on the individual, right?
Oh, man, you got to be kidding me.
So you don't think it depends on the individual? And we can bring it down to a smaller scale. You can say certain things to me, and it wouldn't change anything about how we rock with each other. Certain things other people say to me or about me, it might get them, it might cause a problem. So saying Uncle Joe, I don't really look at that man he's good. I don't hold him accountable for certain things. Now, somebody else might oh yeah, that's Uncle Joe. Like, he's family, he messes up. You feel me? So I think it goes down to the individual.
So tell me right now, your uncle, right? You got uncles. You've had uncles.
I have plenty of uncles, yes.
Would you relate your relationship to Joe Biden the way you relate your relationship to any uncle you've ever had?
Depends on which uncle you're talking about, because there's some
you wouldn't.
Some I don't rock with at all.
Oh my God. You're not gonna look at your uncle. That's your blood. It's just different. You don't know Joe Biden. Let's just be honest about it. You and y'all don't know that man.
He might have popped up in Jackson once or twice.
You do not know. That's even worse. That is not helping this case. You do not know that man. He is elected to do a job. No, you are not my uncle. You are the president. People are in distress. Do something.
Agreed. But to play devil's advocate, aren't people always in distress?
Yeah, that's not devil's advocate. My sentiments remain the same. Do something.
I mean, how wide could you cast that net?
We're not talking about, we could talk about that, but that's not what we're talking about in this situation. Right now, you got a natural disaster, Joe. And you should probably, no, I don't want to get off the Ted Cruz thing, because that is we're gonna get to that. We're gonna circle back to that. But now, like I was about to say, upward of 25,000 people lost power and stuff like that. And you saying come get them and move them. Where you gonna put them? Because all the surrounding areas was shot too. Oh, okay. So remember when the immigrant kids and they were ripping kids away from their parents? They found some place to put them. They put them in cages. Remember this? I'm not making this up. So you're saying with the people without the power and stuff should go to cages? I'm saying that the right facilities now, are available. That's what you're saying. Yeah, and I'm sure right now, if I'm in Houston, I don't have no power, no water, no food, I'll take a cage with some government assistance. I'll take that for right now while we figure this out. So don't tell me don't have places to put them, right? These are all arguments of convenience. You politicians, administrators, people in power, you fix when you want to fix. You act when you want to act. Other than that, you give us slogans, jogans. No more jogans. Keep that shit. Do your job,
Jogans.
bro. Do your job.
Coin that one. I like that one. No more jogans. So to circle back to Ted Cruz, for those who you don't know, they while this in the midst of all this going on, you know, people dying without power, holes in their houses and apartments and everything like that. Someone seen Ted Cruz and his family in the airport flying to Cancun, getting up out of there. So that was our reference earlier. So I'm asking, how do you feel about that?
I gotta read the statement because it's important. Contextually, it's important, and I think it speaks to those in power. Even when you make a mistake, and be clear, Ted, what you did was a mistake. Now, maybe if you would have come out and just been like, "Hey, this was a mistake, poor judgment on my part. I want to get back to helping the people that I'm supposed to be helping." So this is Ted Cruz's statement. With school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down and then last night and flying back this afternoon. So that was Ted's explanation for.
You know what? I don't think I heard that before, but with that being said, I think his explanation makes it worse.
It absolutely makes it worse. It doesn't alleviate any of the backlash or thoughts that people probably had of you previous to that statement.
Because reason being, I don't know how mad I am at, like, yo, it was a bad situation. It was messed up. Let me get up out of here. Let me go somewhere where I can be safe.
Wait. You're not mad. So you're saying you understand Ted's thinking if that was his mentality.
If that was his mentality. I mean, if you was in if you was in a bad situation and you had the resources to leave and be comfortable, you wouldn't?
No, not if I'm elected to help the people. No, that's the problem. And what you're saying is right, because that's how they think.
Because I would leave. Like, yo, I'm out of here.
They think.
You know, just like here in Jackson, some people was without power suffering. Some people decided to check in the hotels. Like, yo, you know.
Yeah,
because they had the resources.
People, your neighbor from Jackson that happens to be wealthier than you, and we can get into that whole breakdown, the classism. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
That neighbor not responsible for your quality of life or making sure that you're okay.
I thought good neighbors are always there for you. Like, what's up?
Ted Cruz is literally, that's his job. He's supposed to take care of Texans. That's his job. His job is to take care of Texans. And what makes it worse is,
he said, "I'm out of here. I'll be back."
You're going to Cancun because of your kids. You know, that statement there is such a slap in the face, because I know so many working class individuals that sacrifice vacations, time with their kids to be able to provide a house, to be able to provide food on a daily. And you couldn't sacrifice a trip to Cancun during a natural fucking disaster because your girls were at a school for spring break?
No, I
Oh, Ted.
No, that's real. Like, that was definitely poor choice.
Just say that then. Just tell us that. We're not dumb. Just tell us, Ted.
I messed up.
You messed up.
I was trying to get out of here, so, you know, say it. So how do you feel about corporations during this time? Do you think any corporations handled it right? Because these people that was out without power had jobs, right? Like, I got a full-time job. So how do you think they handled this?
I mean, now that I would think is probably going to be more on an individual basis. I think so, right? Because if you're the job, and maybe there are a few different ways to go about this. If you're a job that was, and I've heard this, I've read stories where jobs were still trying to make people come to work and punishing and writing people up if they did not show up to work during this situation. That energy is problematic.
From personal experience, that happens. Maybe not to the extent of a write-up or whatever, but the fact that every day we wasn't sure if we had to work the next day or not. Like, oh, we'll send out a message. Just go ahead and cancel what you need to cancel for the week, because you guys know what we're going through. Some of you living in these situations, some aren't, but so what we're going through. So every day we have to wait for a text. Oh, well, we're not running today. We're not running tomorrow
at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Here's where it got me. Where I work, I will not say the name, but we got the text saying, well, my section isn't running. We're not running production, whatever it is. But these other 2 sections are running production tomorrow. So the people from this section come in to cover for the people of the other sections that can't make it. So you mean to tell me they can't make it, but I can to cover them not making it during these hazardous situations? Keep in mind, a lot of people still didn't have power nor water. Like, I couldn't go, well, till this day now, I can't just go in the sink and pour some water in my cup and drink it. No, we're on the boil water alert still. I gotta boil water for a minute, then let it cool,
And
that's
so
still the thing.
That lends to the greater notion, my brother, on these people really, like, capitalism has warped the corporations and major organizations' minds to think and like talk to us like, oh, we're getting through it together. Like, no, we're not getting through it together. You're just trying to get what you need to get. And so you're trying to spin me this yarn of bullshit so that I'll feel purpose and connected to this corporation that, again, they're showing us again another. I mean, this is not the first time, but again, my Southern brothers and sisters, they're showing you again exactly what they think of you and your life and your well-being.
And there's a dollar amount on every life. And that's what it comes down to. Like, because even now we're back to work. Oh, they working us. We got to make up for last week.
Oh yeah.
What? No, the southern region as a whole was at a standstill last week.
Yeah, nobody's buying nothing right now.
Nothing's being bought. Nothing's being What do you mean we have to make up for last week? And it's really sad. Like, I got to work Monday and my supervisor said to me, he said, well, what happened to you Saturday?
Ooh, what happened to you, bro? You didn't.
First of all, that's not even a normal work day for us. A Saturday is not a normal work day for me. My schedule is Monday through Friday. Occasionally we'll work Saturdays, but that's not normal. Like, it hasn't been normal in like years. Another thing, I don't work Saturdays anyway, because that's a whole nother conversation. But he genuinely asked me, what happened to you Saturday?
And your reply?
Said, bro, I don't have water. Like, how do you? Well, yeah, I understand that, but and after that is no but. He told me, you could reply to my text message. You shouldn't have sent the text message.
Oh no, he definitely should have. Because it ain't about you. Who cares about you, bro? Who cares about you?
And I respect it. It's a business,
No, I don't respect it. That's our problem. Yo, I'm cool with capitalism, but what we're living in now this is not capitalism. This is not some fair system. This is not some fair competitive system where those individuals who work the hardest get the benefits of that hard work. No. That's not where we're at. This is not if you break your back and work hard, you can be okay monetarily. That is a lie, especially today. And these people they're not interested in saying, listen, you don't have water, family? That's why he wasn't there on Saturday.
Yeah. You could have responded with a text. How? I couldn't charge my phone because we didn't have power. Like, so that annoyed me. And
problematic. To even broach the subject is like, you can't even be approaching me right now.
You shouldn't
asking me anything.
You should. Your question should have been,
are you okay?
Are you okay? Right? Your family good? Everybody good? Not once. I don't think they have asked once. Like, how's everybody doing?
Not even once.
You need anything now? I'm hitting people up. Y'all need anything? Y'all good? I know you drive. Whatever you drive. I got a truck. I can drive on this ice. You need anything?
And so here's my question then. I mentioned Trade of Truth earlier, and that's just one brother that I know that's doing good work. But is that his responsibility? He's going to do it because, there are solid individuals out here in the community. That's just what it is.
Excellent.
That shouldn't be his responsibility. And
I don't
do that a lot. We do that. We frame and we come together as a community and we make things better. And they use that against us.
Absolutely. And I don't want to, you know how I am with certain words. So I don't want to say he was obligated to doing anything like that, because he most certainly wasn't. But I think as a community, we have a certain responsibility to each other.
That man could have asked you, is your family okay, bro?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's leadership. That's leadership. That's management 101. That man could have been like, hey, listen, are you okay?
Yeah.
I know it's been tough.
He could have not even been genuine when he asked. But you could ask, oh, y'all good? Are y'all straight?
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Dashboards, nigga.
Nothing. What happened to you Saturday morning?
It is very, and I would warn people that you are going down a slippery slope, because I know there were people who broke their back to get in there on Saturday.
I know.
And win it. And I know they did.
And I literally know.
I would love to have a conversation with those people. Why? Why'd you do that?
I don't even know if it was safe to walk. Because so where I work, when I park, we got about a quarter mile walk to the door. I don't even know if it was clear enough to make that walk without falling in.
So, and we're not even talking about, right? Let's play a fair game. A fair game is for those people who broke their back on a Saturday to get there in probably what will be classified as a natural disaster.
It is. Well, definitely in Texas. By the way, go ahead, finish your thought.
Can we get them some monetary compensation for putting in max effort for our business? How many people do you feel like were paid that actually sacrificed and made it to their jobs?
You want to know the text message I got? What it said? Coming Saturday, you only be here 2 hours, but you get paid for 4.
Oh man,
But the thing about that was,
yeah, baby, yes.
The thing about that was we didn't work the whole week. We didn't get paid for the week. I could have used my personal time for it. But like one of my favorite memes was supervisor. Oh, you can use your vacation time. Bitch, do it look like I'm on vacation? So nah. But so now this is about to spin off into what I was about to say.
Don't lose to Ted Cruz, because I'm not done with you, Ted. But go ahead. I'm not done with you, Ted.
Ted, he's after you, bro. Like
I'm not done with you, Ted.
He's not done with you, Ted. But speaking of, like I said, so a lot of people didn't work last week. So what they suggested, like I said, either use your personal time, and they came out after we should have been done it and said you can file unemployment. That's cool, it's something.
And it's not right. Unemployment is not. So we're clear. Unemployment is a fraction of what you make. Right? They give you a percentage.
And they're still doing a little bit of extra money with it. So whatever. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It's not nothing.
My point would be it's not what you would make normally.
Okay, so with that being said, that was the options. But as you do your unemployment especially on our side on Mississippi Department of Employment Services, it asks were you off work due to a natural disaster, a federal declared natural disaster. But underneath in parentheses, it says the winter storm last week was not declared a natural disaster.
Oh, so they already trying to. The fix is in. The fix is in.
How? How was that not declared a natural disaster?
Because you don't make the rules. That's why.
Because we don't make the rules. Now, I think they did declare one in Texas. I want to say Texas, they call it a natural disaster. But that's because way more money is lost in Texas by that happening, by the way.
It doesn't even matter. There's ice. People don't have power in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The roads closed.
Yeah, let's just get dressed in the dark and drive on the ice. We'll get there.
I'm not even talking about like side roads. I'm talking about our major interstate closed. Like you couldn't drive on it. If you didn't have, the right vehicle, you just stay home. Like there was accidents. It was just crazy.
And so I guess I got to get back in Ted Cruz's ass for a second. Mm-hmm. Ted then came back from this Cancun getaway and was posting pictures of him putting water and shaking hands and kissing babies, which is another slap. It's like you slap me one time and then you come back and you just slap me again. Ted, you gotta let it go, family. You gotta
Like
let it go.
Trump going into Puerto Rico and throwing out paper towels.
Paper towel, come on. It's like a
towels.
doubles, and then being like not like right when that whole disaster is happening. It's not like he got up right away, right? These things always take time, and they're like, well, he's the president, he's busy. I don't want to hear none of that. Like, Ted, don't post no pictures of you helping. Nobody wants to see that, bro. Why are you posting that? Who is that benefiting right now?
Because there are people with way less who did way more. I have like I said, I mentioned this a lot. I coach a women's football team, Mississippi Lady Panthers, and one of the girls, she posted like, "Oh, I'm driving to Louisiana to get water and bring back. I'll be at such and such location, handing out water."
Big energy.
I've heard, like, I've seen a post like, "Yo, I know a lot of people don't have water. If I know you, you can come here and shower."
Big energy.
Yeah, I'm making store runs. Let me know what you need. I have a 4-wheel drive truck. Let me know what you need. I'm making store runs.
But that's my point. The establishment, the individuals we elect to take care of these things, use that against us. They call on that girl who probably has limited resources herself. And they say, well, now we can do it as a community. Like, then what am I paying taxes for? Why don't I just give my tax money to the old girl and maybe she'll do the right thing with it. And when I need her, she'll come through in the clutch.
Yeah.
Since you're relying on her and the rest of the community this heavily anyway. I'm not saying it's a negative that the community comes together. I'm saying that that is not a replacement for the government that we have, the democracy that we're in, the taxes that we pay to it, to bow out and lay the brunt of that responsibility on the community.
No, agreed. Definitely agree with that. You got to do more. Like, just flat out, Uncle Joe, U.S. government, you got to do more. We need you.
Who uncle?
We need you. The country's uncle. He's the country's uncle.
No, he's the country's president, which is a real title. Despite what everyone might think, that's a real title. It has real power. It holds real weight.
It does. It absolutely does. But now we need you. We definitely need you.
So please come through and help them people. Please.
Yeah, like that was such a real thing. And then keep in mind, on top of the winter storm, people still dealing with COVID.
Oh, facts. Oh yeah.
Factual. Like, people still dealing with that. So we still have that going on. Then we gotta we can't go anywhere. So if we do need, or we do exhibit symptoms or feel like we're not quite there, we can't even go get tested. That's how it was bad.
And so never mind the fact that, right, because now people have probably had to huddle up and come in close contact with a ton of people. Never mind, I don't think you probably haven't seen the effects that this natural disaster will have on those individuals from a COVID standpoint. That is still probably remains to be seen, because you're right, people haven't been being tested. So you probably don't even know. People probably catching it. You probably don't even know. And again, it's disturbing. It's disturbing to see, because I literally watched all summer long. All summer long. We got riot gear, we got tear gas, we got tanks, military weaponry. We got all types of resources being used to suppress Black people all summer long. So now they just don't. No resources. I don't know where they are. Can't get them.
That brings this question. Do you think only certain communities was affected by this winter storm, or more impacted more than others?
I mean, yeah, and I mean, obviously you have the undertone of race in this country always, but this also has a class undertone to it as well. Poor people, I'm sure that the brunt of the damage and destruction that this natural disaster has caused on poverty-stricken communities is not being even reported by the mainstream media. I'm sure there are people that were in PJs or in areas in certain communities that didn't have much to begin with, that nobody's even batting an eye. No cameras over there. It just is what it is. I'm sure that's happening. I would be willing to place a wager on it. So yeah, and again, your Uncle Joe is nowhere to be found.
Honestly, when it comes, I don't even think he's going to touch on this. It's really crazy. Yeah, so I'm not saying he didn't. I haven't heard it. I haven't seen anything in place to help.
I haven't seen the president come out, and I mean, I would think that would be multinational news. I feel like I would see it everywhere.
Yeah, and even with so this is just me spitballing, thinking about it. So even if it's after the fact, so there's not, let's say there's not much you can do as far as people already went through it. They were getting lights and heat back, and sure. But now what you can do is put stuff in place so this doesn't happen again.
I mean, I haven't heard that, and I mean, maybe we should look up, some sort of speech to see.
I mean, but no, this stuff, it shouldn't happen. And then now this is a known fact. Because I want to say there was a lawsuit in New York about something like this, what these energy companies do when situations like this happens, and there's too much, just pretty much too much for them to handle. What they'll do something called load shedding, and where they will pick places where they cut the energy out intentionally. They'll do it for a few hours, so and load shedding. So, but then they were doing it predominantly in black and brown areas. Now, I don't know. I'm not gonna just jump out there and say this happened during this time. I just happen to know a lot of black and brown areas that lost power for a long period of time.
Yeah, man, it's and again, nobody wants to be a conspiracy theorist, but our government is just, they haven't done enough, and so it's not even conspiracy. It forces you to question, are you doing it intentionally?
Yeah, are you doing this on purpose?
So, I Google Joe Biden on natural disaster in the South. USA News, the first headline that comes up. It says Biden's Texas trip aims to begin restoring faith in government.
You don't want to give us no bottles of water or nothing.
It's just fail. It's fail again. Another fail. It's fail. Fail. The media fail. Biden fail. You just can't. It's those types of things. And that was 7 hours ago. That story's posted. Biden's Texas trip? Fuck Biden's Texas trip. It's a cruel game, man, and it's passionate to me because I can't understand. I've only been on this earth for 32 years. I can't understand how people I don't understand how you could get old and just this is what it is. These politicians feed you this bullshit, and we just kind of, if they can, and most of the time they can't. They hide behind policy.
I don't even think they care anymore about they're not gonna believe that. I think at some point they care. We're gonna try to make it sound good. I think we're at the point where they don't even care how it sounds.
Yeah, man, because they know they think, and I'm not gonna say they know. They think we won't do nothing. The people won't do nothing. And I'm not advocating for the R word, and I'm not telling people to do nothing.
The hard R.
I am a peaceful individual. I want peace and unity in this beautiful country of mine. But I'd be remiss if I did not warn you, leaders, politicians, administrators, big wigs in these corporations. There's only
so much.
Yeah, man. There's only so much a people can take before they start they have to react. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah, before they have to R word.
Yeah, and nobody wants that. Don't put the people in a position to feel like that's their only option.
Agreed. Nah, and that's what we're getting to.
I hope not, but it would appear that way.
No, we're getting to a lot of people losing faith in government.
Hence your headline from U.S. News.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of unrest.
And I mean, you're talking about vaccinating people, and then you wonder why they don't want to get it.
Exactly. That's
Whether it's good, whether it's bad, however you feel.
I don't trust you.
Yeah, I don't trust you. Like, I don't trust you to do the right thing for me or my family. I don't trust you.
No, and that's no.
And you've given me good reason to. It's not like you've provided everything I need and I'm just crazy. You've given me a lot of reasons for pause, for trepidation.
No, that's facts.
So let's wrap this thing now.
Yeah.
What have you learned from this? What is Snowvid 2021?
No solutions. We're not gonna ask about no solutions.
No, because I think it's more impactful to talk about what do we really feel like this thing has taught us. Right? It's only been a week, right? Maybe a week and a half.
It started snow. It snowed last Sunday, or it iced last Sunday. It snowed a little bit Monday. The roads didn't start getting cleared to like Thursday.
Also, not even a week. Let's say 4 days.
Yeah, power's just now starting to be restored a lot of places. Like I said,
so we're talking 4 days.
4 or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5 days. Not too much time. Yeah, well, all right at a week. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And no, wait a minute. I have to clear this up. No, I do not. Absolutely, don't give a damn about the length of time. Right? No. Like, as a federal government, as our government, one of the most powerful on the planet. No, you do not get a mulligan. I do not care about 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. The moment we're seeing pipes bursting, I should have been seeing buses, choppers, the whole thing. Go get them folks. Period. There's no mulligan for time.
Something. Yeah, drop a blanket or something. Do something.
There's no mulligan for time. And that's and maybe that's me. People will say, well, you're being hard on our government. Well, the government is hard on us, so tough titty. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so what was your question?
What did you learn from this? Snowvid 2021. What did you
learn? I don't know if I learned anything new. I think it reinforced something that we've been saying. There is a dollar amount on every life.
Which is insane.
And not just coming from big brother government. No, there's a dollar amount. Your job has a dollar amount on your life. How much they're willing to make or lose based upon just your life.
I would be interested in doing the research to see, was there anyone that passed or died or got into some sort of serious accident trying to get to a job? I'd be interested.
I'm almost positive there was. I don't see how there wasn't. The big accident that's when it started in Dallas.
I did see that.
With something like 6 people died.
I did see that. Yeah.
Frozen roads. Seeing that something like we watch the news. We got meteorologists. They told you this was coming, and still not come to work. We'll see later. And my job does things like that.
Either way, right? So for all my people that are going to talk about, well, they didn't have enough time. The moment the natural disaster began on a Sunday, I'm talking about by at least Monday night, your federal government should have shut it down. Lock it down. We're done. No one's moving nowhere. There's no work. We're closing it all down.
Absolutely, but no.
Stay in place.
Yeah. So with that being said, like I said, it further confirmed what I already, what we already spoke about. There's a dollar amount on every life. So with that being said, learn to take care and or do what's best for you and your family. I understand. I understand that you might be already struggling. You can't afford to lose that job. But to be honest, if that job was everything to your family, your life is worth even more. You feel me? So you can't afford to lose that job, but your family can't afford to lose you. And that's just being real. So that's what it was with me.
That's deep. I'm going to tell you, and this is very profound. I need people to understand because what I'm about to say is extremely deep. The thing that I learned most importantly from this Texas tragedy is that your politicians really ain't shit.
That's deep.
Yeah. And on that note, I mean, unless you got something else, that's.
I'm just gonna, like I reiterate, it wasn't a Texas tragedy. It was a Southern tragedy.
Sure, Southern tragedy. That's an important point to clarify.
Texas, Mississippi. I want to say Tennessee. I don't know how bad Alabama was hit, but
I'm pretty sure I might have seen some videos of some folks in Alabama having it tough.
Yeah.
Having it tough too.
So that's another thing. The news only want to cover Texas. Like, yo, a lot of different places and areas was affected by this, and so pray for these people, and but now I'm good.
All right, well, pray for these people, and definitely let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully our government will do the right thing. Now that what is Biden gonna go do? Biden's heading to Texas to restore faith in the government. So now hopefully we'll see what the coming days brings.
Uncle Joe be tweaking.
And I mean, I have no problem next week on all the podcasts if Joe Biden goes down there and is a superhero. I'll be the first to give him credit for that.
Are you gonna start calling Uncle Joe?
I am absolutely not under any circumstance going to call that man Uncle Joe under any circumstance. So let's just make that clear, Mr. Biden, President Biden. That's never going to happen for me. That doesn't mean I can't look at you as a person that does their job and does it at an effective high level. So on that note, this podcast is all done. And we're going to catch y'all next week, man. Peace out.
Peace.
That money.
Don't you go off now. That's right. Don't go off. Yeah. Nah, don't you go off now. Look, hey, I woke up this morning living my best life. And if it isn't, at least I gave it my best try. I'm just enjoying the moments cause ain't no next time. Trying to slide with my people on the west side. Yeah, moving different than all the rest cause I'm about doing it different. New vision.